Hello, my name is Vittorio Pelosi, and welcome to a series of lectures concerning the art movement Intentism. Can I first of all express my gratitude for inviting me to speak today? I hope this presentation will be informative, thought-provoking, and challenging. Let me begin by briefly defining who we are and what we do. Intentism. Who are Intentists? Well, we're artists and writers, musicians and philosophers from Europe, North and South America and Asia. And what do Intentists do? We create art to celebrate the belief that the author is alive and well and able to communicate their intended meaning to their intended audience with a degree of accuracy sufficient for artists to become once more pioneers in society. We believe that this debate is one of the most crucial of our generation, and permit me to attempt to explain why. Intentism. What's all the fuss? Well, please picture in the frame for me an artwork of your own. Is it a painting, a sculpture, an installation? I look at it as a member of the audience, as a viewer, and I say, your work is racist. For me, your work means that white people are the master race, and I'm shocked and offended. As the creator, do you have the authority to tell me I'm wrong? Can your work mean different things to different people? Can it mean anything? But if it means anything, it means everything. The result? It means nothing. Your art is silent. You have no voice. Jacques Derrida, about whom more of later, was the originator of the term deconstruction, whereby texts could be turned in against themselves, the result being that they no longer had a fixed, stable meaning. He has said that texts will always have more than one meaning, and secondly, that even so, there are ways that texts can be misunderstood. My initial question would be this: if there is no stable meaning found from the artist's intention, and no single stable meaning found in the work, by what principle can anything be excluded? Because remember, he said that texts can be misunderstood. But why? What principle? How can we exclude anything? So, let's go back to your work here. It's racist. Degenerate art. Hitler in the 1930s declared much modern art as degenerate, as it did not seem to celebrate the National Socialist ideals. An exhibition was organised that displayed many of these works with plaques next to the works condemning each work. Have a look at this, it's very interesting. Hitler's speech at the opening of the House of German Art in Munich on July the 18th, 1937 said this. Have a listen. We are more interested in ability than in so-called intent. An artist who is counting on having his work displayed in this house or anywhere else in Germany must possess ability. Intent is something that is self-evident. These windbags have tried to make their work more palatable by representing them as expressions of a new age. Intent is something that is self-evident. These windbags have tried to make their work more palatable by representing them as expressions of a new age. Okay. Hitler obviously didn't like these words. He thought that the intention was self-evident. He thought the artists were using their intention and arguing their work to be more than it was, and Hitler was not having it. Some of the artists involved in this, enemies of the state, sent into exile. Some of the artists labelled as practitioners of degenerate art included the illustrious names here of Max Ernst, Paul Klee and Otto Dix. All three in fear were forced into exile. Artwork that is now celebrated was banned by a dictator that refused to attempt to understand the artist's intentions. In any free society, intentions do matter. Let me give you an example outside the art world. This is never more noticeable than, for example, the legal system today. In law, a victim's death can be seen in two different ways, even though the perpetrator's work, if we can call it that, is the same. Let me give you an example. An unprovoked, premeditated killing is murder. We're using the word loosely here to describe something as heinous as murder. An unprovoked, premeditated killing, that was the intention, is murder. However, a killing, that work, but with the intention of self-defense, is considered manslaughter. The interpretation of the viewer, the public, the judge is different. In essence then, the meaning of the killing is very different based on the intentions of the perpetrator. So we can understand how all this fits into an art historical context, making it, I believe, arguably the greatest single fight in art theory today. Let's look at the artist's intention and the work's meaning, a brief history. Much of art theory in the last 50 years has been shaped by these three men. First of all, Gadamer, from 1900 to 2002. I've written there, continually changes meaning. Well, what does that mean? He believed in the effective history of the work. This is to say, a text or a piece of art may be seen by different peoples of different cultures and times, obviously. Different generations and peoples may see the work differently. That's true again, isn't it? For example, is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz about the argument surrounding the gold standard in America, or a children's fantasy? To Gadamer, these are not various readers' associations, but meaning change. So The Wonderful Wizard of Oz has two meanings. You can't reconcile them, but they're two equally valid meanings. And The Wonderful Wizard of Oz can continually change its meaning. It doesn't have to just stay with those two. And there are always new meanings. Secondly, Jacques Derrida, I've written always more than one meaning. He was from 1930 to 2004, and he spoke of many things, including deconstruction and undecidables. Derrida, as we've previously said, wrote about turning the text in on itself and deconstructing it. He spoke of undecidables and la différence and play, whereby a single line of text or an artwork must have more than one meaning. We would like to ask whether this includes his own writing. Can I, as the audience, believe what Derrida says and look at his work and say it means the work has only one meaning? Can it self-contradict like that? Thirdly, Barthes, the death of the author. From 1915 to 1980, he said the artist has no longer authority over meaning. The author has died. Barthes basically said what everybody was thinking at the time. If the viewer's interpretations are equal to meaning, then the author has died. If the author has died, we can no longer speak of Barthes' work, surely. We can't say this work is by Barthes. The author has died. And perhaps we can say Barthes was hypocritical to accept professorships that were without doubt based on the calibre of his writings. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you for listening this time. Next time we're going to look at how we got to this position. And we're going to have a look at a historical overview in more detail. But for now, thank you for listening and hopefully see you next time.